I am Katie at the Fabric Squirrel, and I have had a huge, beautiful delivery last week that I wanted to show you. And one of the collections was from Brogan, who is also known as the Crafty Pie, and she took part in the Sewing Bee a number of years ago now. This is her second fabric collection. I couldn't help but show you because they're so beautiful, and I thought I'd show you some of them that I've got left from her last collection. There is not many. And maybe give you a bit of sewing inspiration for sewing with viscose. All of these ones here are viscose. Some of the previous collection are here and they're in different fabrics, so I will talk you through all of those. These top two here are the rainbow gingham from last year's collection, and they were so popular. I think the most popular fabric that this particular company has ever printed. They obviously had to do a reprint, so I have restocked it. I've got plenty, but if it goes as quickly as it did last year, it won't hang around for long. So don't miss out on it. As far as pattern suggestions go for these two, Brogan herself made a dress last year in this while she was pregnant, and it looked beautiful. It was the Mariposa dress from Nina Lee Patterns. So I will try and put an image up here for you of it. It was used as a maternity dress, definitely didn't need to be a maternity dress. So that would be a great contender for these two fabrics. I'm going to move this out the way a little bit so that I can show you what I'm wearing. So this is one of the prints from last year, which has now sold out, unfortunately. But it is like a largish gingham, somewhere in between these two, in the blue and green. And I made this dress from the Great British Sewing Bee book, which I talk about all the time. And I've done it with, there's a tier at the bottom and the middle, and then shearing. Shearing is just my absolute favourite. I am going to try and do a video on how to do shearing, because if you haven't done it before, if it looks a bit daunting, as soon as you do it once, you'll be hooked. There's no zips, there's no buttons, there's no fastenings, and it just is always going to fit you. So it is a great beginner, although it doesn't feel like a beginner thing. It definitely is, and I urge everybody to give it a go if you haven't done it before. So although I don't have this colourway left, I do have two others. So I have got the orange and I've got the pink. I mean, there is only a tiny bit left of both of these. I think I've probably got enough for a couple of dresses in each of them. These are all on viscose. I'll bring you in for a little bit of a closer look so that you can get a feel for them. They are just deliciously drapey. They're so super soft. There is a little bit of creasing. So the feedback I would say is, I wore this dress on the school run this morning. I did not iron it, but I did give it a little bit of an iron in places for this video. So it depends what kind of person that you are. You can get away with it if you hang it up nicely, but you may want to iron it if you were going anywhere particularly special. While I'm talking about last year's collection, I may as well just go through with you what I do have left. This is literally all that I have left from last year. These I had in a few different colourways and they are all sold out, but the orange is just so retro. I love orange at the moment, and I seem to be getting loads of orange fabrics in recently. This is a jersey. So this is the only jersey one that I have left. It's got a good amount of recovery. I haven't sewed this particular jersey up yet, but I have sewn some from this company before, and it's doing really well. My favourite go-to pattern is the Agnes top. If you haven't sewn an Agnes top, it won't be your last. I've done a mock-up of it using Stash Hub, and the sleeves you can have as the ruffly sleeves. I'm all about the sleeves, so I always go with that, and I love the ruching here and here. I think it's really flattering. Those are obviously optional extras. It's just a really nice basic t-shirt, which is really nicely fitted, I think, around the hips. So if you want a baggier t-shirt, that's not for you, but if you like a fitted t-shirt, this is a great pattern. So yeah, that would be my recommendation for the jersey. You might have recognised this one because I wear this all the time, and I've definitely worn it in videos before. It is my Lyra from Tilly and the Buttons. I do have some of this left, and I have it in this beautiful orange and purple colourway too, purple and lilac. The flowers are quite big, so they're about the largest one's 4 inches, about 10 centimetres wide. I think the Stylark Hope dress could really pull this off. It's quite a basic one, but it's got nice sleeves and it's going to handle the little bit more structure as well. This is a mixture of cotton and viscose. So it's slightly heavier, but it still has that really nice silky drapiness, which is why I love this dress, because I get more use out of it in the colder months. And I can wear this one with tights. I also thought it fitted having the collar and just a bit more of a crisper look to it, rather than these feel like really nice floaty dresses. But I felt like I could make something a bit more structured with this. So I have those in the blue, blue-green and the lilac-y orange. So shall we talk about Gingham first? It seems to be making a huge comeback. I see them everywhere on the high street, and I have got loads of different variations of Gingham in stock, from seersucker and viscose to just cottons. So there is literally a Gingham for everybody. I've already mentioned the dress that Brogan made herself in these rainbow ones, but I had a look through my own pattern stash to get some inspiration, and I found 2 which I haven't made yet, which are now going to go top of my list. The first one is this McCall's dress. So I've done a mock-up of it, again on Stash Hub. So it's M7948, and I think the tiers look great. I can only show the mock-up with just one print, but you could easily mix and match those 2 different gingham sizes, a bit like Brogan did on hers. I also think when it comes to gingham, it's really good one if you want to do anything with shearing, because you've already got those lines already printed onto the fabric to follow. So Mabel is always going to be a winner from Tilly and the Buttons. So I've done a mock-up of that in the red. I say red, it's red and pink. I would say that the darker shade is red. Some people might say it's just like a hot pink, but I'm going to say it's definitely red and pink. But anyway, it's beautiful nonetheless. So I think Mabel in this one would look fab. Right, I will show you some of my other pattern suggestions for the others, and I do think that they would work for all of these fabrics anyway, but there's a few that I've mocked up that I think work nicely. So these have been up on my website for just a couple of days, and there are 2 standouts already. It's the strawberries and the bows. These are the ones that you are loving the most. So I had a look through my own pattern stash, and I came across this McCall's one. I subscribed to the Love Sewing magazine, and with it you always got at least 1 paper pattern, sometimes 2, and I have got the biggest collection of sewing patterns. I just had to unsubscribe until I caught up because it became a bit overwhelming. If you are new starting up and you would like to build your pattern stash, this is such a great way of doing it. I'd fully recommend subscribing to one of these sewing magazines. This one's Love Sewing. They are all really good quality, like McCall's or Butterick. Sometimes it's their own, but I have sewn all the different brands and they never disappoint. Sometimes they're a little bit harder to read, I think, than the indie patterns, but once you know what you're doing, you can normally construct it yourself pretty well, and they're pretty basic anyway. This one here is the M7969, and I think it would look amazing in this. I didn't realise this was in my stash, and now I'm desperate to sew it up. I quite like the short version with the sleeves, like the puffy sleeves, but there's obviously lots of different versions on the back. Yeah, I think that would look amazing. The next one I've got is this green flowery one. Obviously, I'm always drawn to green, so this is the one that is a standout to me. I feel like I need to give it a little while. I need to let customers actually buy stuff because it's really hard. It's really distracting when you order fabric and like you love fabric and you love sewing to actually remember that it's business and I need to let the popular stuff go out first. So I'm hoping it's not too popular and that there is some left for me in a few months' time. So Brogan actually has her own book out called Dopamine Dressmaking, and I cannot wait to see what she starts sewing up with this collection, because I'm sure there'll be some from her book in there too. I haven't got the book. I need to add it to my Amazon wish list actually, because it's going to be great for inspiration for especially for this collection. Now, I took part in the So Fruity challenge this month with Blossom Sandwich. So I did a vlog for her for my patchwork skirt, and if it's still, if you're watching this before the end of June, I still have So Fruity 10 discount code running, so you can get 10% off any of my fabrics until the end of June. It's just a real shame that I wasn't able to have these and show these off at the beginning of the month, because it would have been so perfect. So there's like this really lovely peachy fabric with cherries on, and in the background there are really small polka dots, which I think just gives a little bit something extra. I love it. When you look closely, I really like the white border of the cherries. It just finishes it off really lovely. So that is the cherries, and then the strawberries have been really popular. In fact, I've already sold nearly half of the strawberries, so I don't expect those to be around for long. But what I really love about them is that if you look closely, there is the bows in the pattern, the same bows that are in this pink one here. So it's just another like nice little detail in the strawberries. I have had a look, and I think the Seamwork Clarke top would be if you like just want a really basic cami, then these would be perfect for it. So I've done a mock-up of that one. I love the Marnie from Tilly and the Buttons in viscose fabric. I would have a whole wardrobe full of them. If it was up to me, if I had time to sew them, I would literally have every viscose in that particular top. So I would definitely suggest that one. I've mocked it up in the cherries. Well, that's all I've got to say about all these fabrics for now. I hope you love them. I hope they don't hang around for long, because honestly, I don't actually know where they're going to go on my shelves. If you've got any questions about any of them, then please let me know. I haven't sewn up all the patterns that I've suggested. I've sewn up some of them. So if you've got any questions on the ones I have sewn up, I'm more than happy to answer them. The rest are all end up going on my to-do list. Thank you for watching. I have now managed to get my shop, my website linked to YouTube. So that is thanks to you guys for watching that I'm able to do that. So hopefully throughout this video, I have been able to link the products to take you straight to my website to make it loads easier than finding it in the description. So hopefully that works. If you do like what you're watching, you want to see any more of my fabrics that have arrived, there have been some beauties. I've literally just thought I'd focus in on the Crafty Pie today. Then please subscribe and follow along, and I will be posting lots more sewing inspiration for you.